Alright, welcome everyone to another Two Stupid Gamers video. My name is Mash the Stampede, and of course it is now time to talk about iRacing Season 3. The season just dropped June 10th, 2024. They released a 165-page PDF document outlining the full schedule, and I want to talk about it. So in this video, we're going to go over as much of the schedule as I'm going to be able to cover, mostly looking at some of what my highlights are. I'll talk a little bit as well of some other things I've developed with iRacing. Of course, there have been some updates with Season 3. They weren't going to release the season without doing a couple of additional things. I'll mention those as well. And because this video is very early on into the season, I'm not really going to be able to do any kind of tips and tricks or talk about some of my favorite races with Season 3 because I didn't even get to do any of them just yet. This is really more of an overview video, but we definitely want to get into this video without any further delay. It's time. iRacing Season 3. Well, let's get right to it. As you guys can see in the top left corner, this is Season 3, week 1 out of 13, so there's plenty of racing to go in this season. Now, before I get into the actual content update video, I wanted to talk about week 13 from Season 2, because this was a lot more interesting than I thought. Yeah, so as I've said in the past, this is the first time that I've ever really got involved with iRacing and kept up with it on a regular basis. So week 13, I didn't understand how week 13 would go. It was kind of confusing to me because the schedule only went up to week 12. So for week 13, there was no scheduled content. It was very, how do I say this? It was very creative. It was series we didn't get throughout season 2, and also every single day a lot of the series were changing too. So in addition to these creative choices, instead of having to wait a whole week for a new track, new cars, the series would oftentimes update within a day. So the next day you would come back and be like, oh, yesterday I did the Roval for this series I've never heard of, that was never done before in the season. Now it's not at the Roval in Charlotte. Now it's at Daytona, or it's at Pocono, or it's somewhere else, you know. And they even went to some crazier lengths too, where they were doing series that don't typically see those cars on those tracks, and I thought that was really cool, some of the creative choices they had. So I'm gonna play a little bit of a replay from some of the week 13 races that I got to do. Okay, so first off, I gotta give a huge shout out to this series, which is the I believe this one was called the Ridiculousness series, and I'll explain why it's called that in just a second. So at first it seemed very straightforward, you know, Daytona, Talladega, oval racing, but I noticed there was something weird about the cars. And if you notice, we're not just looking at regular stock cars, we're also looking at pickup trucks. But also, in addition to that, and we'll see them coming up shortly, they have Mazda MX-5s. They have Mazda Miatas in the mix. I had never done any kind of racing like this before, so this was really exciting for me. But essentially, this is a type of race that is done in real life where you have categories of cars. So you'll have cars that don't really match the same speed as each other, but they're still racing together. It's almost, you can think about it like 3 separate races are happening. So you have the race where it's all the competing stock cars. In this case, all of the competing pickup trucks is a separate race, and then the third race is all of the Mazda Miatas. We still haven't lapped them just yet, but I saw this and I thought to myself, this is all I'm gonna do for week 13. That of course didn't happen. I did other stuff week 13, but yeah, this was really fun. I liked playing with the draft with this as well. You know, even though the stock cars are generally faster than the pickup cars, you could still find yourself behind a stock car and utilize their draft to catch up to them. It had really good pack racing for both Daytona and Talladega. And the one weird thing I will say is that I don't understand why anyone would want to be a Miata in this series, because this was a rookie level race, and I feel like a lot of people in the pickup trucks and the stock cars are being so aggressive towards the Miatas that it just, to me, it didn't seem like it'd be fun. Not to mention, you're about like a third or half the speed of these pickup and stock cars. So that was a little bit crazy. I don't know. I should have tried it when I had the chance, just for like shits and giggles. But to be completely honest, yeah, I can't see why you would want to be a Miata in this situation. We are actually coming up on a couple of the Miatas as well. I really enjoyed this series. It was cool that we could do this at both Talladega and Daytona as well. And yeah, I mean, it was nice to just see this like creative series out, and we got a little bit of a wreck. Beautiful. Well, anyway, this was definitely a highlight from week 13. And like I said, they did a lot of really interesting choices for some of the cars as well. So here we have the Two Stupid Gamers Gen 4 Impala driving around Lime Rock Park, which is not something that typically NASCAR stock cars drive around, or at least drove around, because it was never part of the Sprint Cup series when they were using these cars. So seeing stuff like this was cool. This series was called the Tube Frame Twister. I really liked it, and again, it kind of challenged me to use these cars on very difficult road courses. These cars are really fun for super speedway ovals like Daytona or Talladega, but on road courses, you have to be very, very careful with how you utilize your throttle. I mean, you have to be so careful, because any amount of overuse of the throttle and the car will it's just going to oversteer and spin out, and you're in the grass, you know. But that feeling of finally like figuring out where you want to be with your throttle and actually being able to take turns such as that without spinning out is phenomenal. It's incredibly satisfying. So I'm glad that they put in a series that let us use these cars at tracks that you really wouldn't see them at, because again, I mean, this is just like an opportunity we don't normally have. So this series was fun too. I definitely did a couple of races as well. And once again, we have Lime Rock Park. This was for one of the two, I think, or three series that were utilizing my favorite open wheel car in iRacing, the Formula 1600 cars. So Lime Rock Park is one of my favorite racing tracks. I think I really fell in love with this track because of the Formula 1600 series. I really started to kind of get an appreciation for driving around in a different style of car, and I quickly learned to use a car that or utilize a road course that I wasn't familiar with, to drive at a road course that is unfamiliar to me and scary at first. This track has a really hard turn. It wasn't utilized in week 13 here for this series, but that scary turn, over time, I ended up getting a little bit better at it. I ended up building a lot of confidence, and yeah, I mean, this track kind of became like my proving ground for some of the road racing skills that I had. But the reason that I bring this up is because towards the end of season 2, I had a couple of licenses that I was still close to leveling up. You know, I definitely would have had the opportunity to do so if I had more time to spend with iRacing, but you know, I came close and I just wasn't quite getting there. I found this to be a little bit frustrating, but really it's more so because I didn't know. When we went from season 2, let's say, to season 3, there was no loss of your safety rating for some of those licenses. So I kind of went a little bit try hard, and I did like an offline session just trying to get as much safety rating as I could. Long story short, I still didn't get it, and I was really furious, only to realize that I didn't need to do that because your safety rating carries over. So I'm still at the 2.74 that I was at the end of season 2. So I kind of thought to myself when I first saw this, hey, I'll use this as an opportunity to level up my road racing open wheel formula style car license to the next tier so I could get more races unlocked. But yeah, I didn't need to go crazy like that because I could have totally just kept over my progress from the previous season. So I brought this up just because, again, I wanted to mention that towards the end, in addition to all of this creative stuff, week 13 also gave me the unique opportunity to try to once again level up a couple of licenses. But of course, we are here to talk about iRacing's Season 3 update. Again, this was the update that was released on June 3rd, 2024. Some of the information may have changed a tiny bit. So they mentioned in the middle, I think this is something that I usually overlook because honestly, I'm really here for the racing, and it's if they change this from season to season, I might not even really notice. But one of the updates for season 3 was that they have a new damage model, and it also importantly applies to all the cars, which again, I mean, this is really cool. I saw some of the pictures of how the damage model worked. It was nice. It's nice that they're improving certain things. So that is one of the big updates for season 3. I will say though, what needs to be said with iRacing is that, and maybe I'll see if I can find a clip of it somewhere, but there has been an issue ongoing since like season 2, maybe even before. I didn't experience it a lot when I first started, but towards like the last month or so, maybe like 2 months, there's been a lot of problems with, like, I guess online connection, and there's some kind of bug where cars will just randomly start jumping. This is really frustrating because when it does happen, you don't really know how to react. At first it looks like the car is just going crazy, but it doesn't make sense that it would jump like that, so you're not thinking it's a real crash, but then you also don't know where the car is physically supposed to be at that moment on the track, and it makes it hard for you to race. It really takes away from the immersion. Update and patch this out, do what you can to get rid of this, because this has been a problem for like way too long. After scanning through these update notes, I didn't see anything that explains that, hey, we're gonna fix this finally. They really need to fix this. Like, this can't be understated, just by how much the service costs and how many people are playing this and how serious of a racing sim iRacing is in the market, the industry. They can't really like let this continue. This issue persisting really reflects poorly on iRacing, and I really hope that they can get this taken care of and resolved soon. They also added new cars. So the Street Stock series, which I previously talked about in the last content review video, the one that I was explaining that, hey, this is how you can rank up your oval class ranking to the next license grade. They got another car. So I guess they realized at some point that, hey, the Street Stock series only has one car model, and they wanted to expand that. I've seen them. They look pretty cool. I'm not going to buy them because, as far as I know, when you have a series that has multiple cars, generally you don't have a lot of difference between those cars, besides the aesthetics. They also mentioned that the whole GT4 class is going to be race ready, in addition to a couple of other vehicles. They said there's 10 total cars that are race ready for wet track conditions, so rain. I don't have the ranking for a lot of the higher series of sports car just yet. In addition to, I don't have some of those cars purchased, so I don't really get a chance to utilize those. But if I get a chance to do some rain racing, that could be really fun. What I also like too is that if we come down to the season highlights section of this update, they advise that Indianapolis is going to have another configuration. Now, this is a very sore topic for some people in the NASCAR community. So in the NASCAR Cup Series, they started to utilize I guess you'd call it the Roval. It's a configuration where they take the big oval and they combine it with some of the road course inside the track, so that it's not fully like a super speedway anymore. It's really just basically a road course. They did that with Charlotte as well. Other series outside of NASCAR do that with Daytona and other tracks, Pocono. So it looks like they gave a new track configuration for Indianapolis that utilizes the oval, and that's closer to how NASCAR races it sometimes. I'm actually a little bit confused about this, to be honest. I thought that they were gonna give us the road course and they didn't have the oval, but I never had the track, so I wasn't fully up to date on that. And I'm also, to be honest, I'm such a bad fan. I also don't even remember what the track was for real life NASCAR, what they're actually using. So we got that. But speaking of NASCAR and trucks, it looks like they also utilized data from NASCAR themselves to help update the aerodynamics of the trucks, which I'm not on that level yet, and I haven't had as much lap time to discern that difference. But it does kind of feel like they're different from the for the limited amount of time I got to use the NASCAR trucks recently. So I'm excited to see how the aerodynamics have changed. But also the update isn't specifying which NASCAR truck this applies to, because there's a couple of different eras of NASCAR truck that are available. Just like with all the other cars, you have certain eras that are available to you. So it doesn't specifically say if it's the modern trucks or if it's some of the older ones that are available on the service. They also gave a bunch of other updates to stuff like the legacy member site and the time attack modes, and AI racing as well. A whole bunch of updates came with this. So we have just only so much time that we can talk about this. So if you want to check out the full update, I will link it in the description so you guys can see for yourselves what was available. It's available online on iRacing.com. So I also want to check out the full schedule. Like I said, the overview. Now, I want to preface just by saying that the full schedule is available as a 165-page PDF, so I'm not going to be able to get to everything in this video. I'm really just going to go through some of my highlights. I also want to say that I only have some of the licenses ranked to a maximum amount of like D. I just got C rank for ovals with this transfer from Season 2 to Season 3, so I have a bunch of new races that I can do, but there's still a lot of stuff that's not really going to apply to me. If you guys want to check out the full schedule, just like with the season update release notes that they provided, you can also find the full schedule available on iRacing.com as a PDF download. But yeah, let's get into the schedule real quick. So here we have the massive document outlining everything. It is also divided by the different categories, which is nice: your oval, your sports, your formula, and then of course by each individual class as well. So R, that just stands for Rookie Series, so that's the one that you start off with. Again, as you can already see in this index, there's a lot less races for Rookie than you have for Class C. And of course, by the time you get to Class A, if you're able to get that far, you have access to all of these. So this is just kind of how iRacing works. It's a very different system from any kind of other video game that I've experienced, but this is just because iRacing is considered like a professional racing simulator. I mean, people use this service to actually break into real life racing. So it's actually treated like real life racing. You don't start racing at the top level, the professional level. You have to work your way up. And we're going to start by talking about the Oval Series. So for Oval racing, one of the things that stood out to me as well is we do have a couple of the same components from the Season 2. There isn't too much difference, which is good. I like a lot of the series that were existing. We still have things like the pickup truck, the street stock, legends. I utilize street stock. What I really enjoy is that right off the gate, we have for week 1, street stock is at Charlotte Motor Speedway. This could be a great time for me personally to take advantage of that and just like run away with some good safety rating. Again, this is what I utilize to get from oval ranking rookie to oval ranking D. Of course, now I'm in C class, so if I start this and I actually get a opportunity to rank up, I'm gonna just keep racing. The more you race, the safer you race. It doesn't really matter so much about placement, as long as you're not too concerned with your I rating. You will eventually get that rank up. You just have to put the time in, and you have to be a good, clean racer. Now that being said, because I'm already at the Class C, that was something that happened to me between Season 2 and Season 3. I may not be able to utilize this method anymore because this is a rookie class race. It might not count as much, but for that and again, here you could see pretty much the whole schedule up to week 12. Gen 4 Cup fixed. We'll take a closer look at that. So as you can see at the very top, this is a ranked series. It is using that very loose, wonderful Arca Menards Chevy Gen 4. Also, if you take a look to the right here, this is a 90 lap race. So 90 laps is a real significant amount of time. I think I explained how safety rating works, but every single time you take a turn, you're going to be accruing safety rating, whether you took the turn and without incident or if you did get some incident. So you do the practice session, you do the qualifying, and you run the race clean, you could potentially get a lot of safety rating. So if I'm not going to get as much from the rookie series because they're shorter, maybe they don't count as much as they did before for safety rating, I could definitely take advantage of this. Try to run a clean race. 90 laps at this track, I think, is going to be somewhere in the realm of like 50 minutes, maybe an hour. That's like a lot of racing. But again, I'm not sitting and waiting in between lobbies and doing nothing. I'm going for 50 minutes straight, you know, an hour and a half straight, whatever it is, of just constant racing. And that's, you're accruing turns and opportunity to pass a turn safely, so you would eventually get your safety rating increased. So I'm definitely going to be spending a lot of time for this. This is going to be an adjustment for me because at this point, now that I have access to this race, I've never done anything that was like 90 laps, at least not in recent memory, and certainly not for iRacing where there's like professional level competitors with you as well. So I'm definitely going to spend a lot of time with this. This is going to make my streams really interesting because usually I'm sitting in between streams now and killing time. But with this one, I feel like I could pretty much do one of these races, maybe have like 20 minutes intermission, 30 minutes intermission, whatever it is, and then do like another one, and like my stream is like half done. I want to take a quick second to just notate that something that I like, which is they actually tell you what the interval of time is for frequency for each race in this document, so I really like that. But anyway, the Draft Master series makes a return for iRacing Season 3. Again, this is a little bit shorter because I think they're about 20 laps a piece. Yeah, about 18 to 20 laps a piece. I really like the Draft Master series when I first got this because I think at the time it was about twice the length of what I was doing, which was the Pickup Cup. But also it was starting to challenge me a little bit more. Of course, this is a D rank series, so you are racing with like not rookies. You know, you have to get out of rookie class to have access to this, so potentially you have a lot of like better racers to race alongside. Maybe people are cleaner in general. I've still seen some things at the Draft Master series, but not quite as bad as it was with the Pickup. I'm gonna get to one more oval series here that's a highlight for me, but I just want to mention that there's not really a point for me to talk about Class B or Class A for ovals. I don't have those ranks, so there's not really like anything that I'm looking forward for that because I can't race those races just yet. It would be nice to rank up to level B this season. I don't know if that's going to be a possibility. I'm sure by this point it gets a little bit harder to get up to that rank, but I wanted to talk about one more oval series, and that is one of my favorite series, which is the Arca Menard series. They utilize the Gen 4 stock car that I was talking about before, but I'm so happy that the Arca Menard series starts with Pocono Raceway. That was one of the things that I mentioned in the last video that I want to see more of, Pocono Raceway, so I'm stoked that we got that. If we take a look at the schedule on the actual iRacing launcher, we can see that they go to North Wilkesboro Speedway, which unfortunately I don't have. Again, some of the stuff here I just don't have. It does cost a lot of money to buy all of these tracks. Then it goes to Dover, so I won't really be able to utilize ARCA after this first week as much. But then they come back to Charlotte. We get a little bit of Richmond. We do get to go back to Lime Rock Park. Like I said, Lime Rock Park, really interesting choice for this car because they're so spin happy, but I enjoyed it a lot, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm glad that the ARCA series doesn't just include ovals. It kind of mimics real life ARCA or NASCAR where they also do road courses, so that's really cool to see as well. And they finish off in Nashville Speedway for week 12. Like I said, I don't have a lot of these. I think we have I do have Concord. I've never raced Concord Speedway, so I'm not sure what this one is, but it looks like it's another oval, 55 laps. My guess is it's a bit of a short track because if you look at Pocono, 20 laps is not that long. So this is not the Arca Menards Class D is not a long series, so these races will typically run you about like maybe 15 to 30 minutes. And like I said, that's it for ovals because there's still so much more that I could talk about, but we're trying to move this forward. I want to talk about road course racing right now. What makes me so happy, and I feel like someone listened to me, someone at iRacing watched my Season 2 video. No, obviously they planned this way in advance, but we have Watkins Glen. This became my favorite track to race when I was only doing Assetto Corsa. So yeah, like I love this track. Actually, in the previous video, I said that Lime Rock Park was my favorite road course in the Northeast. That was a mistake. Watkins Glen is my favorite road course. So I'm excited to be doing this. I spent tons of hours of this in Assetto Corsa. So yeah, I love this track. I'm not too familiar with the GR86, as in I didn't have a lot of usage of this car. I've raced, I think, some of the Daytona road course stuff and others as well, but I haven't had a lot of time with the car. I obviously wish that I was just doing like NASCAR at Watkins Glen. I think Watkins Glen might be in the mix for some of the other oval series, some of the other NASCAR series. So I might get a chance to still do some NASCAR at Watkins Glen. But to start with week 1, we are going to get to do for the GR Butt Kicker Cup, the fixed version, Watkins Glen International. I'm really excited about that. Since I started iRacing, I haven't had a chance to really race this track like at all. They are 15-minute sessions. So after 15 minutes, the white flag comes out, leader takes the white flag, and then the final lap is done. So whether you're on the lead lap or you're a couple laps down, your race is going to be done once the checkered flag is out. Yeah, I would imagine that these races would take about, like 15 minutes. We do get to go to Summit Point, which I have, so I like that. The Daytona Road Course, Virginia. So for the first 4 weeks, if I can like get over my not really like taste for the GR86 in this, I think I can actually really get behind running this. And hey, if we run some clean laps, I could even rank up my road course. Maybe this will become a series that I stream a lot. I hope so. Now it's at this point I have to be kind of honest with everyone and just say that I don't really race a lot of road courses or even open wheel stuff. I'm very specific with those. When it comes to ovals, like if I have it and it's available to me and like I'm eligible for the race, I will basically be running the oval like without a doubt. So road courses and Formula, like I dabble, but that's why you may not see as many of them. Just wanted to give a little disclosure. And of course, we also have the return of the global Mazda MX-5 Fanatec Cup. I use this a lot so that I can try to rank up my my license for the sports car division. When I first started with the Mazdas, it was just road courses, but they've split them off as of the last season into open wheel versus sports car. So I will definitely be coming back to this because the Mazdas, sometimes I don't like them as much as I did at first, but they're fun. They're really fun cars. The acceleration is terrible, but they are fun cars to drive around. The road course racing has been generally really good. There you see my beautiful MASH car that I designed specifically for use in iRacing. We started with Winton Raceway. The road course has a couple of configurations. They're gonna be doing 9 laps at Winton, and I have that. I have Circuit de Le Denon. I'm not allowed to go to France. I can't pronounce any of their words. That track is really fun. I kind of looked at the design of it when I was doing season 2 content, and it just seemed like not interesting to me. But this was the point when I realized that the racing line in iRacing is super helpful for you to just jumping into a brand new track you've never done, because I quickly picked this up. And at least with the Formula 1600 cars, I enjoyed this track. Mazda, I haven't had a chance to race. Maybe I'll like it. They also run the Gen 4 cars here. I think they did that during week 13 of season 2. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely check that out because I have it. Ulton, Navara. We come back to Laguna Seca, which that was like the heaviest investment I had with the Mazda series. Laguna Seca really helped me rank up to the next class for the sports car series, and I really felt like I kind of unlocked stuff there. I don't recall if I did Lime Rock Park with the Mazda Miatas, but I mean, anytime Lime Rock Park is up in the mix, like I'm gonna be down to play. Yeah, what I really like about this, and you're kind of noticing now, I'm noticing it as well, you know, Virginia, Tsukuba, Summit. I guess because this is a rookie class series, they do this, but I have all of these tracks. So anytime I want, I could totally just hop in the Mazda MX-5 Fanatec. Now, what I'm hoping to do is, because my safety rating increased I'm sorry, safety rating maintained between the season 2 and what I have now for season 3. I'm hoping to upgrade that license while I start season 3, so maybe I can unlock more Mazda stuff. I would like to see the Mazda at, you know, tracks like Watkins Glen. Maybe they have something else that's not here that would be really interesting too. But right now I'm locked to just Class D, and I think this is the only Mazda stuff that I have. We could take a look at the docket in just a second. At Class D for season 3, it doesn't look like there's any other Mazda content that you get. Let's take a quick look at what's available if I do rank up my license during this time. So yeah, right there we get to race right off the bat with the Watkins Glen International. So I would be able to have more time with this track that I love so much, with the car that I'm more familiar with. Honestly, the Mazda and the GR86, they're really close. Both have really slow acceleration, so they're very like relatively close cars. But yeah, I would have another chance. So if I can level up in week 1 to Class C, it looks like they also utilize Sebring International Raceway and Daytona International Raceway, the road course as well. So I have a couple of those. It's not as open as the rookie level Mazda MX-5 series for tracks that I do have, I can already see, but it is cool to just get an additional opportunity to do Mazda stuff. So when it comes to road course, I pretty much mostly do Mazda and some of the NASCAR stuff that happens to be on a road course as well. I would like to change that in the future. I would like to do some additional stuff. So moving on to the Formula car, which for those of you who don't know, I'll put a little picture of it. That's the cars that have the open wheels. That counts Indy cars, Formula 2000, Formula 1600. This is a series that I've really like fallen in love with, specifically because of Formula 1600, but also some of the other racing simulators that I've tried open wheel racing. These cars just feel really good. The braking zones are like super tight, and I guess because they're lightweight, they don't have as much weight on them. They can brake a lot harder and a lot shorter, so you get some really interesting racing with this. They're just very fragile, so you can't really make a whole lot of contact like you can with NASCAR or even like Mazda or something. But taking a look at the breakdown for season 3 Formula car races, of course we still have, for rookies, Formula 1600 Rookie Series and the Formula V. Those are the only 2 that you're getting, so you're going to want to upgrade your license if you want to get all this extra stuff. I'm definitely going to get Class D because I love Formula 1600. As long as they have a couple of Lime Rock parks here, I'm getting my D rank license, no questions asked, for Formula this season. For Class D, that would open up the Formula 1600 Thrustmaster Trophy Series. The Skip Barber Race Series, that's a different car. I don't have that. They also have US Open Wheel D, Formula 2000. So yeah, you get like a good chunk of races in the Class D series for Formula. Of course, if I somehow get to Class C, Dallara is also really good. I really enjoyed racing the Dallara car. The car that's used for Dallara racing at Pocono, that was some of the best racing I've done at Pocono, so I'm really stoked about that. And for Class C, you also get iRacing Formula A, IndyCar Racing Series. So that's the first time that IndyCar appears on this list. I would like to make it to that because I'm curious to see what the IndyCar racing experience is like for iRacing for sure. It looks like no more Formula 1600 as far as I can tell in the Class D series. And of course, there's also Class B, Class A. I'm not getting to any of those classes this series. It would be nice, but my primary focus is on ovals, so I'm not really going to get as much time for Formula racing. Let's take a look real quick at what's available for Formula 1600 Rookie and Class D. So for the Rookie, we have Olton, Okayama, Navarra, Summit Point Raceway, Winton, Virginia International Raceway, Laguna Seca. Again, these are all tracks that I already own. A lot of them already come with the game, so you can basically play the first 7 weeks without any need to purchase content. You go on then to Rudskoken Motor Center, Oschersleben, Tsukuba, I think Tsukuba is also available. Lebanon, again, we talked about that earlier, and you finish off at Lime Rock Park. So it's not as much Lime Rock Park as I would like, but it is there available to you. And yeah, this will be a great opportunity to get a little bit of time with the Formula 1600 if you're at the rookie level. And now if we skip over to Class D, which again, I don't have just yet, for Class D, these are 20-minute races, so they're an additional 8 minutes compared to the rookie class. Again, the way that this works is that the 20 minutes runs up, the white flag comes up. Once the leader takes the white flag, then they take the checkered flag, the race is over. So I guess just depending on how fast or slow the whole field is, it could really go like anywhere from 22 to 24 minutes, something like that. In terms of tracks, you have Olton, Brands Hatch Circuit, which I've never heard of before, Sebring again, Lebanon again, Knock Hill Racing Circuit International, but in reverse, so not the standard way, but it would be in the reverse direction. Hungaroring, not familiar with that one. Winton again, Hockenheimring, Baden, Württemberg. I'm sorry, my German isn't phenomenal. Not sure which that one is. Looks like there's a Ferrari racetrack, Oran Park. So pretty much the majority of this is like stuff I've never heard of. I'm imagining a lot of these I don't have. And then they conclude at Laguna Seca. And last but not least, I also wanted to throw a quick shout out. So there is also the Dirt Oval and the Dirt Road Course series for iRacing. Now, because I focused on oval, formula, and road course racing, or sports car racing as it's now called, I just don't have enough time to do other stuff. I was always curious about short track dirt racing because I heard that a lot of like serious oval racers get a start doing sprint cars on dirt, but I just never really had time to play it much. However, during week 13, the kind of like wild card, fun, creative week that it was, I had a little bit of downtime and I tried the off-road or the IRX series as well, the Rallycross series, and I had a lot of fun. It was pretty cool. Okay, so you're seeing a little bit of footage of this here. Yeah, this is a series that I've not really had any at all experience with, but it is Rallycross. This one specifically is with the truck, but they also have a Beetle version that uses different types of cars. So I think I might dabble with this just a little bit more. As you can see, you also transition from asphalt to dirt at random points. There are like jumps and stuff. Our guy that we're spectating unfortunately went off the track. They run this at stuff like Phoenix. Daytona was the one that I got to try. Again, I got to use the Beetle. It was just really cool. It was a very refreshing experience because I get to utilize a little bit of my road course skills that I've developed, but also dirt is thrown into the mix. And dirt and racing, the physics of it is completely different. It's night and day from anything that you would expect on a typical road course. So I had so much fun with this running around at week 13 of season 2 that, you know, I might just go ahead and make this like a new thing that I dabble with. Also, because I didn't get a chance to play this much before, I'm still at the rookie class series. Let's take one final look at the schedule and just see what's available for this series. I also don't really know a whole lot about dirt or dirt oval or dirt road, how it works. But as you can see here, there isn't an A class for either of these. So for oval, you get up to B class, and for dirt road, you get up to B as well. There also aren't a lot of options for dirt road, which that kind of makes me a little bit sad. But yeah, we have the rookie IRX Volkswagen Beetle Light series, where you drive with these Volkswagen Beetles that I guess are souped up and modified so that you can run on dirt. That was the one that I got to try. You have the Rookie Pro 2 Light Off-Road Racing Series. I believe that would be the truck that we just got to see. That's going to be a lot different. There's like a whole category of racing for big super trucks like the one we just saw. So I think your mileage is going to vary between these two series of what's going to work better for you. And of course you have IRX Beetle again, Pro Off-Road 2, Rallycross Series Fix 24 Season 3. And then if you get to Dirt Road in the B class, you also get Pro 2 Off-Road Racing Series, Pro 4 Off-Road Racing Series, and Rallycross Series. This is for all the Travis Pastrana fans out there. This is for all the X Game fans. I always respected those races. I just never had a chance to watch them. You'll also find some usage of what's called a Joker lap in some of these races as well. So that's a lap where you have to take a different route. At least you have to do it at least once throughout the race, otherwise you get disqualified, or maybe there's some other way that they penalize you for it. There's a lot of different stuff here that you might not get with some of the other road course series. I also real quick just want to take a look at the schedule for both of these. For the Volkswagen, it looks like you have different road course dirt / asphalt at Daytona Rallycross, Charlotte Motor Speedway Rallycross, which I didn't even know they had, Phoenix, which is what we just saw, except it was with the truck, Daytona again, Charlotte, Phoenix, Daytona, Charlotte, Phoenix. I feel like from my personal experience, the only downside to these series is that you're very limited to what tracks you do get to use. So it looks like it's really just Phoenix, Charlotte, and Daytona. And for the Rookie Pro 2 Light Off-Road Racing Series, as you can see, you don't even have Charlotte. So like I just said, that variety feels like it's missing in terms of variety of tracks. So here you only get Phoenix and Daytona, which is even less variety for you. The thing is though that each of these weeks you might get a different configuration because it's inside the actual like the big tri-ovals, super speedway ovals. They can really mess around with what they use for the dirt. I mean, I think this is even like all custom made too, so you can get different track configurations, but I mean, you're still just at Daytona, you're still just at Phoenix. So that's my highlights, kind of where I'm at with the off-road racing series. Those are for the rookie class only. Again, like I said, there's so much more iRacing content that we could get into, but for now, I think that's gonna do it. Guys, and that is gonna do it for this video. We hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, there was a lot of content to talk about with iRacing Season 3. I hope we got to get to some of your favorite series and a couple of the races that you're looking forward to. But if we didn't, hey, let us know in the comments below. Make sure to leave a comment talking about what races you're looking forward to. As this video will come out a little bit later, what races are you enjoying so far? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe as well, as it helps out the channel. And yeah, we will definitely be back for more iRacing content. Right now, this was just an overview because it's too really early to talk about the Season 3 races thus far. I would imagine maybe in a couple of weeks, about a month or so, I could talk about my experience with Season 3 at that point, but that'll be at a later time. I'd be happy to talk about what my experiences are with Season 3. I just really want to get off of this video and start putting in some lap time into this update. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, again, thank you guys so much. We appreciate all the feedback. Let us know what you think, and like, comment, subscribe. We'll be back for another TSG video very soon. Thank you so much. This is Mash the Stampede signing out, and we'll see you next time.